Greek medicine. The ancient Greece refers to the time 3 centuries before the Classical Age, between 800 BC and 500 BC. This time was a relatively sophisticated period in world history. Many large developments and discoveries were made, including major advances in medicine.
Diseases were passed along because people lived in rural villages in the countryside. They built walls as divisions which kept certain diseases in certain places. Land was the most important thing to the Greeks. Most jobs were revolved around agriculture instead of trade and migration, which was lowered tensions between the groups. Rich aristocrats overthrew the king. These aristocrats had the best lands for agriculture or farming. They were the ones who were on the one side of the wall which was most protected from the disease. Medical foods were harvested such as wheat, barley, grapes, olives, legumes, melons, rye, chickpeas, while plants from the Middle East and Turkey became popular as being healthy foods.
In the early times of ancient Greece, when a person became ill, it was often seen as a punishment for God. Likewise, being healed was a gift from God. Throughout the studies, they later determined that there was scientific reasoning behind these occurrences. But some doctors would make patients sleep in Abaton, which is a holy place and temple, and thought that Hygeia and Panacea, daughters of Sliclius, the god of healing, would arrive as snakes to heal them. Hygeia is the word hygiene originated from, and why the snakes is the current symbol for healthcare, pharmacies, etc. The ancient Greeks believed sacrifices to the god would make illnesses go away. According to this belief, people often bought or made models of their body that was sick to leave at Asclepius' shrine, as a way of letting the god know what to fix. Even with medical advances and their conclusion that prayers were ineffective towards fending off and curing diseases, it still respected and prayed to the gods.
At the time, they didn't have any doctors, so anyone could set themselves up as one and travel around to treat people. Later on, they found out that only trained doctors should treat people, so they set up schools to teach people. During wars, wounded soldiers were actually good for the ancient Greek doctors because it allowed them to practice on people and experience different problems and how to treat them. In ancient Greece, the technology developed was aimed for medical purposes. They used things like tweezers, hooks, and other tools made of metal to operate with.
Communication with gods. Before discovering that sickness and disease was caused by the environment and the actions of the people, the ancient Greeks communicated with their gods to help them get better and understand why they were being targeted and were made sick. Communications with doctors and patients. Doctors at the time realized that it was important to communicate with the patients to help form a diagnosis. Getting a patient to describe what they were feeling gave clues to why or what was causing the patient to be ill, and it was better than just looking at their physical appearances.
Public doctors were paid by local governments. Doctors would travel around different areas and get paid by the officials within the area. Doctors were paid 500 drachmas, which is equivalent to $1.24 nowadays.
At the time, medical care was free. If someone got sick or needed treatment, they would go to a doctor within their area and get the according treatment. The patients did not need to pay. Aforementioned payment was made by the government. Democracy was formed. In ancient Greek, democracy was formed. Even though there were limitations to who could vote, it allowed people to make decisions, which could benefit their health and wellness of the city. The cities and their functions revolved around logic, and they placed importance on logically based discussions that allowed for them to develop rapidly in maths and sciences.
Hippocrates is known as the father of medicine. The famous quote, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food," came from him. This quote shows that he found out that diet of a person affects their well-being and lifestyle, and it is important to make good choices. Alcmaeon was a medical theorist and philosopher who was known as the first ever to inquire about potential internal causes of diseases and illnesses. He proposed that diseases could have been caused by lifestyle and diet choices. Alcmaeon also distinguished veins from arteries.